You are out here getting paid $650,000, $700,000. You're out here in Aruba. You're out here eating at these $400, $500 restaurants, and your wife doesn't have the money to get medical care?
Can say is that adultery is not only a grounds for divorce in Georgia, but it's also a factor that the court considers in equitable division of property. So as soon as I received information indicating this potential relationship.
Now, why is she saying this? What does this mean? What does adultery mean? There are two types of states in the United States when it comes to divorce law. And again, I've been doing this for over 20 years. You have equitable division states and you have community property states. Community property states, 50-50 down the line, boom. Husband 50, wife 50-50. Equitable division states are not like that. Georgia's an equitable division state. Equitable division states, the judges don't need to do a 50-50 thing. Most of the time they will do it, but that's not really the standard. The standard is equitable. What does equitable mean? It means fair. The judges want to do what's fair. So what did she say? She said, well, when a party cheats on their spouse, that can be taken into account in terms of the equitable division of property. Maybe the judge was going to give you 50%, but then you cheated on your wife, so the judge only gave you 45% of the assets, 40% of the assets. I got a friend, guys, and he's older. He's old, but he's an attorney. He's rocking and rolling. He was killing back in the 80s. He was making a ton of money down here in Atlanta and in Athens. He was representing a lot of big people, making a lot of money, and he had a wife. Now he was making a lot of money. So he was cheating on his wife. And this is back in the day, but he had it. And his wife was staying at home, raising the kids and whatever. Well, the wife files for divorce and takes him to court. When they show up at the trial, the husband, my homeboy, is in there waiting on her to show up. She comes in a wheelchair and bandaged all up in a wheelchair, bandaged everywhere. She had stage 4 cancer, was looking all emaciated. And that judge said, wait a minute. You're out here with all this money and you're cheating on your wife, the woman who raised your kids, and she come in here with stage 4 cancer? And he was like, yeah, because he had all this money. He had all these assets. That judge gave her everything. My homeboy walked out that damn courtroom with the clothes on his back. Because Georgia is an equitable division state. So that's when the attorney says, oh, Nathan, you're having sex with Fani? I want to investigate that because that sounds like adultery. So that's what the attorney means when she says, hey, we heard this adultery thing. So then we started investigating because it goes into how much property she can get. This goes to the equitable division of property. Maybe my client can get more money based on this or more assets.
Yeah, about that, there certainly was no coordinated effort. What I can say is that adultery is not only a grounds for divorce in Georgia, but it's also a factor that the court considers in equitable division of property.
Right there. She's like, hey man, the courts in Georgia can take into account that Nathan is cheating on Fani and can give Jocelyn way more of the assets based on Nathan having had sex with Fani. That's what she means when she says that.
As soon as I received information indicating this potential relationship, I went after it.
How has this case impacted Joycelyn?
So Joycelyn is an incredible woman. She's kind, she's sweet. She has some health issues that have gone untreated because she has not had access to resources to take care of herself. And
oh my God.
Oh my goodness. There it is.
Y'all hear it, Nathan?
There it is. You're out here taking cruises and she can't afford to take care of herself.
I'm asking if you took a cruise in October 2022 with Mr. Wade.
Yes, and his mom.
But he paid for the flight and the cruise on Royal Caribbean that time.
So yes, he paid. He is the original one that does it.
Break it down, AV. You are out here getting paid $650,000, $700,000. You're out here in Aruba. You're out here eating at these $400, $500 restaurants, and your wife doesn't have the money to get medical care?
She's a homemaker, so there's really not a background of like a career or a trade or long tenured of a skill set. Even if she were to go back out on the job market, it's going to be harder for her to find something.
Yes, and she's been this way. They've been married for 25 years, a quarter of a century. Do y'all hear it? She's laying the groundwork, guys. This divorce could be extremely expensive for Nathan Wade.
So Joycelyn is she is an incredible woman. She's kind, she's sweet. She has some health issues that have gone untreated because she has not had access to resources to take care of herself. Needless to say, in the last few weeks, as all of this has gone on, it's taken a definite toll on her. She's definitely struggling.
I know the terms of the consent order have not been made public. Is Joycelyn satisfied with the current outcome of the case? And that's a strange phrasing to say current outcome, but this is not a final disposition.
Correct.
Is she satisfied with where things stand now?
I think that I can, without revealing any confidences, say that yes, she's very pleased with where things stand at the moment.
She's very pleased. They reached a temporary agreement. The case is still ongoing, but when all this stuff started coming to light, they reached an agreement and she's pretty pleased. Now, I will tell you, the same thing happened to me. It happened to me in my last year of practicing. My client had a lot of money. He had a lot of money. Well, not a lot, but he had about $3-4 million. And he was cheating on his wife with this woman who worked at a company. And his wife knew that he was cheating, but didn't know who the woman was. My client did not want to tell her who the woman was because then the woman would get outed. And because of who the woman was, it would have been a bad thing. It would have been a very bad thing if the woman would have been outed. And so I will never forget this attorney, and I love her to death, ma'am. She came to my office with her client and they showed up for the deposition. They were going to depose my client. And this lady looked me dead in the eye and said, we know so-and-so is cheating and we're about to depose them and we're going to get all into it and we're going to find out who it is. But before that, I want you to read this. And she handed me this damn 20-page document and I was reading it and I was outraged. It was a settlement agreement. Oof. And it was so one-sided, I was so angry. I couldn't even believe she took the time to draw this up because it was pure trash. My client would get basically, he would just get railroaded, reamed. I wanted just to smack her in the face, but it didn't. I was like, you know what? I am obligated to show my client this trash. And so I went into our conference room. I let him read it. He looked at me. He was outraged. And you know what he said to me? He said, do you have a pen? Do you have a pen? Do you have a pen?
Oh no.
And shout out to him because he really did it for her. He lost so much money. He did it for her. Nathan is trying to protect Fani. Nathan's going to be good regardless. Like, he'll still be able to work with everything. This whole case is kind of the summation of Fani's career. If Fani can stay on this case, her career goes way up. If she gets kicked off the case, and Nathan clearly does not want to cooperate. But I want you to listen because, man, this hits me in a certain way. This is my last year of practice. Like, oh my God. I'm not going to say this attorney's name. I love her to death, man. But, ooh, she got up in me because the way my client did not want to expose who this lady was and the company that she worked for. And so when you hear this guy, when this guy says, hey, I heard y'all reached an agreement. Is your client happy with the terms? And she says, very happy.
It's a settlement.
Nathan, what did you agree to? What did you agree to help Fani? Y'all are in the right place today because I deal with this all the time. So listen up.
You don't have to answer the question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!